Ryan speaking. This is part 2 of the video, the prior video. We're continuing on step number 1 in our notebook for call center instrumentation analytics, this IBM Watson and Watson Studio Lab for Think 2018. We've got some credentials for our audio samples. These are read-only publicly available samples, which we are going to put on the GitHub repo on the next update. So here's what we're going to do. What this does is for laboratory notebooks that might not allow for OGG or WAV files to be downloaded and uploaded from it, this is a way that we want to make those basic audio samples available for this lab test. So there's just some light assets that are on here. So those are these credentials for audio samples, and the bucket name for audio samples is simply a sort of a temporary way to get access for our lab participants into the read-only assets. You're going to want to clearly source your own data later on. And then we need to go in here and get some speech-to-text credentials. These will enable the IBM Watson API to receive the audio, OGG in this case, and send back a transcript. And we haven't launched any services yet, so let's go and do that. I'm going to go here, I'm going to save what I've got, and let's go and launch some Watson services. Now we talk about four, we're going to add some services here. We talk about 4 services in the summary. We want to add one for speech to text. And so we'll start there and add a light free version, 100 minutes per month, and let's go and create one of those. Light dev, and I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to rename it as this is our 1305, and we're going to, once we launch this, we're going to go and grab our credentials. And it'll spin that up. You can also launch multiple services, different flavors of services, but we're going to go through one by one here. So here we are. We've got our service launched. There's our overview and our credentials. So let's pop in some new credentials. STT. And create. And here we are. So we've got these URL, our username and our password. Let's copy that. Actually, let's copy the whole thing. Whoops. And head back into our project, the 1305. And let's go find our notebook. All right. So we're back in here. We've run all this. We've run this out, and here we are. So we got to get back in here. Let's pop our credentials in. Oh, I don't think I copied it properly there. No worries. Remember before I mentioned that there's another way. We're coming in here through the console. If I go to dashboard here, because I didn't properly copy it to the dashboard through the data platform, we now see our speech-to-text service that's available. So I'm going to go and go here, and there we are. We got our credentials, and let's copy those to the clipboard. And second time's lucky here. So here's the problem there. Actually, they were on the clipboard. What I didn't do there, and the reason it wouldn't let me paste, is I hadn't gone into edit mode here. So let's do that. Once you click into edit mode, you'll see the icons for running and editing come up here. So if you run into that and you're unable to edit it, like I just was, make sure that you hit the little pencil to go into edit mode. So here we are. Third time lucky. There we go. We've got our speech credentials. Now let's run. All right, so now we should be good to go. We've got our cloud object storage where we're going to be writing our transcripts to. This credentials for audio samples is just where we're going to pull a few of the OGG audio files for the folks that are running lab units that might not be able to download audio. That's just a read only. So we're going to set up our cloud object storage here. And if all goes well, we should be able to run our basic getting of the transcripts, downloading the file, and analysis of the sample. So let's set things up here. This speaks about the types of audio files that the speech-to-text service can accept. Here's the file list we're going to use. This is actually what's on that read-only endpoint. The first 5 samples here are about 2 minutes long. The last 2 are longer 7 to 8 minute speeches, one by JFK and the other one by Fred Rogers. And if all goes well, let us run this and see if we get a transcript out. So this will probably, because it's a 2-minute file, it'll probably take, I think it takes about a minute or so, or a little less than a minute to process it. The second one here, I'm not going to run. This is what the transcript will look like when it comes out. That's having run it on the last time. The second one here is it will take 7 or 8 minutes to run, just so you know to wait, because it is a longer OGG file. Here we go. So you can see we've had a successful run of the test here, where it's gone off to that the read-only endpoint. It's grabbed that first audio file and transcribed it. And let's just push our luck here. Let's change this to the second one in there, and let's try rerunning this one again. And again, that's index space 0. And index space 1 should be a negative sample that we've run here. So later on and in the subsequent steps, we'll loop through some of these, or as many as you have in your example set to run through. But yeah, that's basically it. We've gone through, we've created a project, we've imported our first Python notebook from here, and we have grabbed an audio file and done a transcript of it, and set up our cloud object storage. Here we are. And here we are. Here's our second audio example here, frustration and anger and a mini bit of profanity here. So thanks for watching. I'll record a few more of these for the other steps, but this concludes the call center instrumentation and analytics notebook for step number 1. Thanks for watching.